What is up, everyone? This is your boy, Mr. Product Reviews, and today we will be doing a review on this Dyson Pure Cool Link air purifier slash fan. It is not a air conditioning. It is just a fan and an air purifier. And this particular model, I believe, is TP02. Again, it is TP02 model of this. So I picked this up on Costco. It was on sale for $100 off. So at the end of the day, I think I pay about $2.99 plus tax, $2.99 and 99 cents plus tax. Yeah, so this is kind of like what it is. And so we needed a air purifier in our home because my wife suffers from asthma, and we had a air purifier in the past that seemed to work okay, and then it died, and then we just haven't got a new one. And then when I saw this one on Costco, I was like, well, guess I'll pick it up and try it out. So as for me, I haven't opened the box yet, so I don't know what to expect. But we had a Dyson product in the past. We had a vacuum cleaner, and we enjoyed it quite a bit. So I figured, well, I'll give Dyson another go. And in a later video, I'll show you kind of like, they got some nice, services that's kind of like packed into into this product. So without further ado, just real quick, we'll do like kind of like a 360 view of this box just to show you how it looks like. It is quite tall. I did have to sort of like put my back seat down in order for it to fit in my car. I do have a small car too. I have a coupe. So, but then if you have like a truck and things like that, you should be fine. Just in case if you guys decided to mail this, to your office rather than your home, just be aware that it comes in a quite, it comes in a tall box like this. So like what's really cool about this though is it's not very heavy. I think it's about maybe 10-15 pounds, maybe even lighter. I haven't weighed it, but like you could basically, there's a handle here, so you could like just hold a handle and you could just carry it. So it's pretty convenient, to say the least. And then just real quick too is so kind of like what kind of stuff do they filters, and down here it kind of tells you that a little bit. Let me zoom in. So it removes gases like nitrogen dioxide, benzene, formaldehyde, household fumes, and it captures particles like I don't even know what those are, PM10, PM2.5, I don't know. Okay, pollen allergens, industrial emissions, pet dander, and ultrafine particles. So it seems to be, pretty good, right? Probably pretty standard stuff too. I think it's just marketing material and things like that. And then I just want to show you kind of like, where is that filter thingy that tells you? Oh, here we go. So in terms of filter maintenance, it's pretty simple. You just need to replace your filter every 12 months based on a 12-hour per day use. So if you're running this 24/7, then we're talking about 6 months, right? So so just a FYI on kind of like what kind of maintenance you would need to do. So you probably need to buy a new HEPA filter. And I checked on Amazon, and the prices are about like $25. So I'm thinking maybe in the range of $25 or $30 should be good to go. And the product I did check though, I think it was like a generic product. So we're talking about like a genuine Dyson filter. It's probably a little bit more. So just a FYI. And here's what's really cool too is they have Dyson support. Dyson support and free shipping there and back. So like if your product, should it ever malfunctions and whatnot, that's really cool that you could ship it back to them for free. I mean, you're not gonna have the product for a couple of days or weeks, but still, you're not paying for shipping for something this bulky. So that's kind of nice. So like that's kind of what I'm sold to too. Like pretty much like what kind of maintenance and support would you provide? Now, mind you, I haven't took advantage of it, so it'd be hard to actually say like, is it good or is it bad? But if I ever took advantage of it, I'll definitely let you guys know of my experience. But all in all, this is kind of how the box looks. So next thing I'll do is I'm gonna open the box and show you what's inside. All right, so I opened the box, and as you can see, this is kind of like all the stuff in here, and I will just kind of like go through this in detail with you guys real quick. So these are just kind of like all the stuff that just kind of like came with it. But opening the box was pretty simple. You just gotta like, there's these tabs over here, and there's like tape on all three of them. So all you have to do is just take a scissor and just like cut the tape off, and then you just open it like that. So this is probably the easiest way to open this box. Pretty fairly simple. And once you open it, it basically breaks it into two compartments. There's that space component here, and then that's where the kind of the top of the fan component stays. And it's over here. This is kind of how it looks like after you open it. So you have the base, and then you have kind of like this attachment here, and then it comes with the remote should you want to use it. And the UI of this, the design of the UI of this is pretty nice too. It's pretty much all the instructions are like, you know, on the cardboard box here already, so that you can kind of know like, you know, where everything's at. So pretty good design in my opinion. And one thing that I forgot to sort of mention too is there is a Dyson Link app that you can download, so you can like monitor like, you know, all the data that comes in as to kind of like, you know, how clean your house is, you know, in terms of like, you know, gas and allergens and whatnot. So this is pretty cool. I will do a video on that app too, in a later video. Oh, well, in a later part of this video. So like here you have documentations, and this is the base unit. Kind of looks like this. You know, they just this round thing over here, if you will. Nothing, you know, too special, right? I mean, it's just this base here. So all in all, again, this is kind of like what you get out of the box. And next thing is I will attach it, and then we'll turn it on and see what happens. Okay, so here I attached the unit together. It was fairly simple for me to put this unit together. It took me like maybe a 30-second or less. And this is the reason why I like Dyson products so much. It's intuitive design, and it's just so easy to assemble and whatnot. Everything is kind of like Lego pieces, if you will. Everything's like very modular. And so this is kind of the reason why I decided to purchase a second Dyson product. So just make sure that when you attach this attachment here, just make sure that make sure that this part snaps together. So you hear a little snapping sound when you put these two together. Just make sure it snaps these two parts to make sure that the attachment is nice and secure. And if you press it, and how you remove this part is you just press it on both ends. So there's one here, and then there's another one here. Just make sure you press these two at the same time to release the attachment. So you see here already sort of like unattached a little bit. So I'm gonna see about pushing it in. See, oh yeah, so there you go. You hear that click? Yeah, so that's like attaching the unit back. So just make sure those two things snaps together so that's nice and secure. And next thing I'm gonna do is, let me try to find my remote. So I'm gonna turn this on, and hopefully you guys can hear the sound of this purifier. So I'm gonna turn it on. And this is at a max of 10, I believe. So this is at the maximum level. So like anything less than that is probably going to be softer, but I just wanted you to listen to it when it's at max. Oh yeah, see that? You see that 10 right there? That says 10 right there. And this is the noise and this is the sound level that it makes at maximum. So you do hear the fan, which is fine for me because this will be in my office for the most part. And a fan like this usually don't wake me up at night either. So I'm fine with this. And again, this is a maximum level of 10. If you set it anything lower, you'll probably be okay. So let me see if I can like just set it down to something that's not as loud. Like let's do 1, right, per se. All right, so I'm gonna get it down. All right, this is at a level of 1. Can you go down to 0? Let's see. No, okay. So this is at a level of 1, as you can see down here again. So I can't hear the fan, to be honest with you. I cannot hear anything at all. It is that soft. So this is at a 1. So we're just gonna slowly climb it up to like say a 2. This is a 2. And then this is a 3. So at 3, I'm starting to hear a little bit. And I'm a trained musician, so like I could usually hear faint noises like pretty good, but then like for some other people I think this might be still too soft that you probably can't hear, but I could hear it slightly, like a slight hum. And this is 4. 4 is kind of like where I'm starting to like, okay, I could definitely hear it. This is 4. And this is a 5. 6. I think you guys, I hope the video will be able to pick this up at this, well, at this fan level. 7, 8, 9, and again, this is a maximum of 10. Okay, so so there you go. So like I also said, I'm gonna bring this down so that it doesn't interrupt the video so much. Is I'm gonna bring it down to 1, and so you know, this is also a fan, right? And so at a level of 1, I could barely feel the fan, but at a level of like starting 4 or 5, I could start to feel the fan, and that's where it starts making, you know, some noise on that. And in terms of the fan, I'm standing right in front of it, so I could definitely feel the fan here. So like I'm just gonna do a quick 360 so I could feel the fan. You can feel it here. So like if you're like say on the side right here, you wouldn't be able to feel the fan. Or if you're in behind it, you can't feel the fan either. So just make sure that this fan is directional, through the front, that is. So you could feel it through the front, not from the side, not from the back, you know, just FYI, right? I mean, this is not a conventional fan that we understand as, but maybe in the future this might be conventional. But you know, as I know, fan is, you know, 3 blades, and you see it where you spin, so you know where the wind is coming from. So it operates just like any other fan, except that, you know, this fan is it has this like tubular type kind of thing going on. So anyway, so this is pretty much you know, how it looks like attached and whatnot. And then next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install the app, and just to see what kind of data I'm looking at and reviewing. So stay tuned. So in my earlier video, I don't think I do its justice on kind of like the different features on the remote. So I just kind of want to go back to this real quick. Is you know, this is pretty self-explanatory. So this is, you know, turning on and off. And then there's also this auto mode. So basically what it does is like like right now, as you can see on the indicator, I have it I basically see an A there. That basically means it's in auto mode. So basically the fan will adjust based on the level of kind of like the gas and allergens and whatnot that it detects in my environment. So right now it's a 4. So before it was more like a 1. So I have a feeling that this will kick back into like, you know, 2 or 1 at a later time. So we'll see if that does happen in the course of this video. And then so going back down here, so that's the auto mode. So then the airflow control is what we did earlier, where I was adjusting the fan level up and down. So this is your manual mode, if you will. You could set it manually to whatever fan level of filtering that you would like. Oscillation on and off, this is an interesting one. I did pour through the documentation, and I couldn't find any information about this. So I don't know what it does. So let me just kind of turn it on and see what happens. Oh, oscillating. Okay, so when it oscillates, this is what it does. So it basically turns, so basically it operates like a fan, so it goes left and right. So that's what oscillating means. Oh, okay, so maybe that's why they didn't need to put that in the instruction, because once you turn it on, you'll see. So this is oscillation mode. So let me just turn it off. So okay, so the moment you turn it off, it just kind of like stays at where it's at. So I'm gonna put it right back at the center. I'm gonna wait for a few seconds till it comes back about here. Yeah, good enough. All right, so that's oscillation mode. The next thing is sleep timer. So you could set, you know, your purifier to turn off at a certain time. So like you can, so I'm gonna do like, you know, so this is 15 minutes. You could set it for 30, 45, 1 hour. I think the max you can set is 9 hours. That's the maximum amount you could set. So I'm just gonna go back because I don't need it. So yeah, you can set it back to like none. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the fan has come down slightly. So now is at a auto level, a fan level of 3. So like the auto level self-adjusts based on kind of like the environment that it's in. And then the last thing is night mode. So like, you know, what if this was in your bedroom and you needed to go to sleep, you don't want the fan to bother you, you can turn on night mode. And I think that just operates at a level of 1, you know, while you're sleeping. So, and one last thing that's really cool too is this remote, right? You know, most of the time you have all these remote just lying everywhere. So there's one of special features that you can do is there's actually a magnet at the top of this thing right here. You can't see it, but you can attach it like that. And then it just kind of stays. So like if I try to move it, you see when I try to move it, it goes back. Yeah, so there's a magnet there. So that's just how you can just kind of like leave your remote at the top and just let it, you know, sit on top of there. So it's not too obtrusive. It kind of looks like it stays with the unit, you know, a little bit. So so there you go. You know, that's where you put your remote up there. If you try to do it the other way, what happens is you're gonna have it stick out slightly. So you see, if I do it the other way, it just doesn't look as good because actually this is not too bad either. Actually, yeah. So you could do it one or two way. I like it like this, but it's up to you guys and how you guys want to put your remote. So there you go. Again, my next video, I'll show you kind of like what's in the app of it once I get this connected to the Wi-Fi.
In this last part of the video, I want to just demonstrate the UI on the phone app. And in this demonstration, I am using a iPhone. And so this is an Apple app. So if you're on a Android, the UI might look different than what you would see on this video. And pretty much this app is called the Dyson Link App. And pretty much it's an app that pretty much links up all the kind of like Dyson's product out there. So anywhere from like vacuum cleaner to air purifier and so on and so forth and things like that. So this is kind of like your all-in-one 360 point-to-point app that you can just kind of like run through this app. So it's pretty nifty if you have multiple Dyson app and things like that. So you could just, you know, run it all through this app here. And the UI, as you can see, is pretty, for the most part, in my opinion, is pretty much self-explanatory. You have your 4 button on each of the corner, and then at the top left, you kind of like got some general help and support stuff. And on your top right, you get additional, support information that pertains to your machine. You know, in this case, my air purifier. And there is voice control. You can hook this up to, I believe, I saw Siri as one of the options, and also Alexa as the other option. So those are the 2 options I've seen. I don't think I saw Google Home. So unfortunately, I don't think that's integrated yet. So I think those are your options. But let me, so Siri and Alexa. So those are your only 2, unfortunately, at this point. So you have a Google Home. Sorry about that. And then on your bottom left, you have basically the same replication of your remote, of that remote that I showed in the earlier scene of this review. So it's the same replication. The button all stays the same where it is. So you can technically work with the phone app rather than the remote control should you choose to. So, and the UI is the same. So you don't have to relearn a UI just to learn a new control set. So this is pretty good. Like I said, I always like Dyson because of that. It's very user friendly and whatnot. And then on the bottom left is basically you could set up your schedule. So in this case, I have set up my schedule from midnight to basically 7 a.m. I want my air purifier to run on night mode because I don't want the fan to be blasting in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping and wake me up, because the fan could get noisy if there are pollutant and whatnot in the middle of the night, and I just don't want to wake up. I'm sure I can like forego that while I'm sleeping. And so as you can see, this is an auto and night mode. So between those time, I just want it to be night mode. And do be aware that they do use military time to do, so they don't use AM PM. So like take account of that. They use military time. And so one thing that was with the new UI stuff, which I don't like, is what's considered a button, what's considered tappable, right, on the phone screen. And there were 2 things that it took me a little bit to realize, but pretty much like right where it says good on my screen, there's that little question mark. So that's actually tappable, and you could like learn more about like air quality index and what have you. And there's something about temperature and humidity and things like that. But the one that I'm most concerned with is air quality. So when I first started up the system, because I haven't had an air purifier for a while in my place, I was at very poor. Now it looks like I'm at good. So that's good, right? So yeah, I mean, if if we trust the system to work, the way it should, then this is good. Then I think my air that I'm breathing now should be better. So another thing that I didn't know was tappable, which took me a little bit to realize, was this graph, icon over here. So you tap on it, you get to see the graph. So as you can see, there's not much to display because I just started the unit, but you can see that line that when I guess from up to down, I think, okay, so down is good because you can see the green is at the bottom and the red is at the top. So going down is good in this sense for air quality. And then my temperature rose up a little bit and humidity went down. So, I don't, because I just got the unit, so there's not a lot to see. So you can look at daily view. A weekly view looks like I don't have enough data to display that, but you can kind of like look at your data that way, which is pretty cool, and then you can, I guess, understand more about indoor air quality. So I guess this would be a good example of what a graph would look like once you have some information on it. So again, just, explanation about stuff, things of that sort. So all in all, I find this app very pleasant to use, except for those two buttons, which took me a little bit to realize what they were doing. But beyond that, I like the product. I mean, so far I like the product, and I think if there are interests in the future about from viewers about like how I'm how I like the product, I'll be happy to do a follow-up video on this as to my experience with the Dyson product. I mean, if it's like a bad experience, I would definitely make a follow-up video. But if you guys are interested in the future, if there's our interest, I'm happy to do a follow-up video like in a month or two, just to give you guys my take on the Dyson TP02 fan / air purifier. Should you guys want to hear about it. Other than that, as always, thank you for watching the video, and I've always enjoyed, your comments. So please comment, like, and definitely subscribe. That would, mean a whole lot to me and my wife. We like making these videos, and if you subscribe, that would really give us an indication that you like what you see, and definitely will keep us going. So definitely, if you can, subscribe. Other than that, Mr. Product Reviews, out.